Okay. In 3, 2.
Hello and welcome to the second edition of African Stars Legends. I'm the host, Carlos C.K. Kamaigwa. Joining us today is as a man who did no introduction, is a former African Stars legend. Not a former legend, he's an African Stars legend. The one and only Manfred Bush Menembo. He's the man who scored that decisive goal, the opening goal against Black Africa in the final of the Davis Fellowship Cup in 1975. Bush, welcome to the program.
Thanks. Welcome.
Bush, tell us a little bit about your football career from when you started before you joined African Stars.
Carlos, I think I would like to take you a bit back because this is about my upbringing and my original setup. I was born in the old location, and then we left to Katutura where I started playing football in Katutura. We started as a team of young people called TISM. By that time, I was around maybe 6 or 7 years. And then from there, I joined a team which was created by the guys in Katutura. There was a gentleman called Floyd Maharego. They started a team called 11 Explorer with Joe and Dixie, Warwick, and all these guys. And Kodu also. All these guys, they were very, let's say sharp. These were professional players. By that time, although they were not professional by the way, by that time they could play football at the high level. Then as a young boy, I was just incorporated, brought in, and I started playing football for that team. Unfortunately, that team fell apart, at least because...
They fell apart because the opponents refused to play against them. They were too good.
That's true. But the main issue is that African Star was now even, let's say, becoming stronger, and therefore all other teams like those Serrano-based teams mainly collapsed. And therefore many people joined African Star, especially Floyd Maharego. He became even a player and a coach in African Star by that time.
No, he was a brilliant player.
Yeah, it was by way of playing. You cannot even compare him with some of the midfielders. But at the end of the day, what happened is, by around 68, when the whole group of, let's say, whole location was transferred or moved to
were
forcefully removed, African Star became the key team in our setup. Because as you know, this team were ethnically based, meaning that most of the players were from the Herero ethnic groups. That means at the end of the day, we were having more than even 50 young players, more than 50 young players. These were what we call the golden generation of African Stars. You can even, let's say, name them. There were several guys. The key person there was our skipper, Kube Kaiba, who was one of the most important players in this whole country, which I realized that after he left the African Star, you could see the difference on him playing, because he was committed as a player and he was dedicated to even to winning. He was a winner by heart. But at the end of the day, we were competing for places. As I said, having more than 50 players, we could even have three teams from the same group, meaning that African Star had 3 different teams, which were playing at the highest level, that means at the first division level. And therefore, the place to get a place in African Star was so difficult for players. We have to work hard. We started playing, and that history, it's long. I will start by Joe, the time we joined the first division team. The first person who came...
Before we go there, when you were in Australia, you played with the Stars, like Capri, Kombi, Asas Bai, Johnny Veiko,
First.
Safe Cruz and all these top guys.
Capro,
And
Capro.
Capro, yes,
Yeah.
I think you were the youngest
Yeah, no,
member
no.
of that team.
Yeah, you are right. That is one of the most important part of my, even let's say, career in terms of football. I joined, the Augustino team just the first year I joined. I went up there for, let's say, for further studies. But then what happened in between is that we were playing against the main team, which was composed of Azerbais and Capuis and all these people. But we beat them. And therefore, automatically, we realized that there were better players here. Me and Mondi Kashimune were selected now to join the first team. And then I ended up playing with Azerbaijan Capui, as you are saying. And I was mainly a sort of a right-wing player.
With Jerry Bako as well.
Yeah, Johnny Bako was one of the best, I think he was a center forward. And I think at the end of the day, he came back even, he was in exile. But that is when I realized that my career in football is very, important. We played against big teams, like Black African Stars too. And we even sometimes went up and ended up winning trophies as a sort of, school team. We did not believe it. And the best teams by that time was Denver and Agustino, which were completely, surprised that they could beat even established teams such as Black Africa and African Stars. Meaning that part of my history, it's very crucial in building my capacity to become one of the best players. When we left school, I think we started now playing for full-time for African Stars. But the first thing which I wanted to mention is that we were having few people to do the job, to join the club. The first person was Smondi Kashimune. We joined the first team. And then he was followed by Kaika, because the African Stars culture was old players who have been established for years, were the key players. Nobody could come from anywhere. That means you have to be from the first generation before you join. But that was also a problem, because sometimes these guys did not have sufficient time to come and play the game, because they were full-time employees.
For Africans.
Yeah, and they were full-time employees.
Exactly. They couldn't.
Yeah.
I remember Smondi when he made his debut. He was sitting, we were all sitting in the stands. And one of the players, I think it was Kanima, was not there. And the players on those days, they didn't have reserves. Just 11 players, so he was called from the stands to play. And that is how he opened the door. Then the next one was Kaika, and then you guys came in. But you were also just talking about the players, the two teams, the schools that were very strong, Dulbra and Agustino. Now we talk about the Days Felicia Cup, 1975, when African Stars reached the final against Dibra. The whole squad, from the goalkeeper to number 11 of Black Africa, were all Dibra students. You